Hey, welcome back, it's me. These are 5 steps on healing your relationship to money and entering into an abundance mindset. So I thought I would do something a little bit different by bringing in this whiteboard. So let's start with, what is money? And we have to understand that to heal our relationship to it and to understand how to level up our obtaining of it. Money is not a real thing in the sense of travel is not the car or the train or the airplane that you're in. If you were looking at it in the context of transportation, a car or a train or an airplane is not worth anything. Now, don't argue with me about the scrap parts and how the materials used. We're talking about if your goal is to get somewhere, the car itself isn't worth anything if it doesn't move. So when you pay for like an Uber ride, what you're paying for is the forward acceleration and the arriving at a certain destination. So you can't think of money as like a specific concept, as a thing to hold. It's abstract. It's an exchange. Why do you want money? Or why do you want more of it? And you have to be clear on this reason in order to move forward. To manifest anything in life, first you have to set an intention. You have to believe that it's possible, and you have to have a reason why. Why do you want money? Do you want a better quality of life? Do you want to purchase specific goods? Is it for shelter? Is it to meet your basic needs? Is it to have certain experiences in life? Or maybe even because you believe it will give you more free time in a way that ties into having more or varied experiences in life. Money for the sake of having money is very unhealthy. You cannot live that way. You have to understand why you want it, why it's important to you, what it means specifically. Money for the sake of a bigger number or money, it just leads to an addiction and it will lead to an unhealthy mindset. Because right now, if you feel a huge lack, if you feel like you're not worthy of receiving it, and it's because of something within you that's wrong or that you're not good enough, and you feel a type of shame in relation to it, you are no better than the image of the millionaire who steps on other people and who's rude to a waiter and who believes they're better than others. You are the same as that mentality, except you also added in a form of masochism because you believe it, but you're also not giving that to yourself. You're no better than the people who equate self-worth to the amount of money that they have. So my point is, you can't limit yourself in terms of how many paper bills or gold coins you hold. You have to start looking at money as to how it's going to amplify you into a better place. You start understanding that time does not equal money. You have to repeat this to yourself every single day. Time does not equal money. That's why you will see a minimum wage cashier or waitress earns $2 to $5 or minimum wage per hour, whereas a different type of office worker can make $20, $30 an hour, where salaried can make $100,000 a year. They're all putting forth the same amount of time or a similar amount of time, but they're getting back a completely different amount. Why? Time does not equal money. Money equals energy. We can speak of this in a very concrete and real way. Money is very similar to potential energy. It is both a form of exchange, an actively happening thing. And when you have a paper bill in your hand, it equals a representation of potential energy. Money was created as a means of exchanging value. If we look back in history, humans would trade one item for another. I'll trade you one fish for 2 loaves of bread. In order to make this exchange easier and more universal, we invented money. Money equals energy, and energy equals value, potential energy. What constitutes something that's valuable? Value is based on a person's needs and perception. So for example, somebody goes to a restaurant and they pay $30 for a steak dinner. For that person and that restaurant, they both agreed that the value of the steak dinner equals $30. That is why the exchange occurred. The perception was that this is a fair price, and the $30 steak meal plus the presentation, the cooking of the raw ingredients, and the establishment experience are equal to $30. This is what the establishment came to present to the person, and the person agreed. That's why the exchange occurred. But somebody like myself, who I'm vegetarian, if I show up to this place and I am being offered this steak dinner for $30, I will not take part in the exchange because I don't believe it's worth $30. I believe it's worth $0. I would not consume it. That's my need and my perception. I need food, but I won't just eat anything because my perception is that eating animals is bad for me. You have to stop thinking of money as simply being an exchange of a paper bill for a good or an exchange of time. It is not equivalent to one set thing, and the value of it is constantly fluctuating in every currency around the world. Like we said, energy equals value, and value is based off of the need and the perception of the person that you are looking at. So our new job and our goal is to move the energy, to create value, to give value, to become open to receiving the money, to be free flowing with this exchange. The way that you move the energy of the value that you can create or provide and convert it into money is that you have to be open to receiving it by removing shame, by removing your preconditioned responses to the world and thinking outside the box. You have to know yourself, figure out who really it is that you are, what you have to offer, and the way in which you serve the world around you will cause an exchange to occur. So the exchange is you receiving money. Now I want to touch on something. The free-flowing exchange of money, you will receive more through two factors: providing a service, giving value, and to what extent you can amplify. The exchange equals you receiving money to you and the person here, oh no, I need this service. So I want to focus on this word, energy equals value, therefore equals needs and perception. Let's take a very concrete example. If I'm at the education level of a high school student, I can tutor younger children. There is a high demand for that. There is a need, and there's the perception of the parent that their child needs special attention to learn faster in school. However, if you can provide more value and you could give more energy, meaning if you had a college degree or above, you can give more lessons to different types of people. You can have a broader clientele. You wouldn't have to just tutor children who are high school or younger. More knowledge, you can fulfill more needs. But still, you are going to be limited to the amount of time that you have. So how do we bypass this? There needs to be a way for you to amplify the energy in order to create true abundance. How do you amplify? You have many talents, skills, and abilities. If you give yourself the chance to be introspective, to think about what it is you have to offer, to level up your skills. The number one thing that you can do to amplify is to have more quality. So somebody who can tutor a PhD student on like calculus 8 or 10 or whatever is the maximum, I don't even know, can charge way more for their tutoring services because it is of a higher quality than someone who just knows pre-calculus and can only tutor like high school students or below. 2 is a platform to reach more people. Platform could be YouTube. A platform can be a book. A platform can be a TEDx talk. If you have a way for your message or your service to be multiplied and reach more people, you can amplify the amount of value that you're giving. So I can only sit down and charge so much money for 1 hour of giving somebody personal advice. If I have a platform, I can take that advice and turn it into a book or turn it into a video or a podcast. And it can give more value and it can amplify the rate of exchange. Number 3 is longevity. In very concrete terms, this is the difference between selling someone a cooler that they take to the beach that costs $100 and keep ice frozen for 8, maybe 24 hours versus a fridge that may cost $1,000, but that can keep your ice frozen indefinitely so long as it's supplied with power. How impactful is the information that you're giving someone? For example, if you give someone a college education or a trade skill, they will be able to continue making money potentially until retirement or for the rest of their life, however you want to see it. That's why colleges and universities charge more. If you can teach someone something that will benefit their life and have a long-lasting impact, that's worth more than a temporary exchange. And the beautiful thing about this is the more in demand your energy or your solution or your skill is, you do not have to upcharge and set a limit. You don't have to gatekeep. The more value that you can give, the more in demand that you become, the more that this exchange will naturally happen. Because there will either be more competition for your time, like more people want to offer you, and the more that people will be willing to pay. Now, with all that being said, what is your perception of giving and what's your personal relationship to money? I want to invite you to no longer fit yourself within a budget, but rather use these principles to open yourself and to expand, to be more open to an exchange, to then meet your needs. How do you figure out what energy you can give? See, because when you know what energy, what value you have to give, the easier it becomes to amplify. And the key to this really is improving the quality of who you are, giving more of what you already have, opening yourself up if you're too private. The answer is never going to be to become something completely different. It's already with you right now. You are already a full package. You already have skills, abilities, interests. You already have a personality and things that you can give to the world. It's all about figuring out where you fit and why do you want it in the first place. If you just want the number in your bank account to increase for the sake of it, because you want to see the number go up, you're going to fall into money worship. And then you're going to be willing to do anything and everything possible to get money, which will push you down into a lower vibration. I can't believe I just said that. Let's think about it this way. I have a 9 to 5. If I don't think of the reasons why I want to make more money, which are, I want a better quality of life, I want to travel the world more, I want to donate and help those around me, and I am simply worshiping money, I'd be willing to do anything. I'd be willing to sell my body. I'd be willing to start an OnlyFans. I'd be willing to drive Uber for pretty much minimum wage, or I'd be willing to work 3 jobs and kill myself and not care for me. But what's the reason why I want it, and what are my priorities in life? And you have to be really clear on that. If I want a better quality of life and I keep that at the forefront, I'm not just gonna go out there risking myself or doing things to harm me in order to get it. And this will allow me to give the best of what I have. The best, not the worst. This is very important. What are your positive traits? And how can you amplify that within yourself? And then how can you amplify the way in which you exchange it with the world? When you are simply giving the worst and you are in it for the worship of money and short-term gain, you are willing to do anything, it will not last. There is no longevity. So let's think about Jeff Bezos, that a lot of people say he's evil for many reasons. Correct. I'm not trying to argue against that, but just hear me out. The reason why he became so successful, and we cannot deny this, is because he created a value and a service that people perceived to be necessary. He created positive customer satisfaction. And to this day, the reasons why his business model does so well is because it creates convenience. It saves me time. It saves me effort. That's why I would shop on Amazon versus going to the store, versus going to a different online retailer, is because I know the service will be positive. I know I can safely rely on the experience. I will not be ripped off for no reason. I will get my money back if the package doesn't come. And as much as we all love to hate it, behind it is a very positive value, which is it's giving you something where other retailers and local businesses will not give you this. So if you need a toothbrush, you can go to your local store, you can go to a chain store, you can order from an online retailer, or you can go on Amazon. Why do so many people choose Amazon? First is the price point. It's comparable to the best deals that you'll find. Second is variety. Third, positive customer experience. You know that you will always get what you ordered, and if you don't, you can just as easily get your money back with a very broad time period of a month to sometimes 3 months of a return window without a problem. If you're gonna pay the exact same amount of money for the exact same product, but you know that one is gonna show up on your doorstep and that you are guaranteed money back, no ifs, ands, or buts, you will choose that option because you're getting more value out of it. You're getting the same product, but you're also getting time. You're also getting ease of mind. worry-free. You'll also get oftentimes very fast shipping. That is why we love to hate it, but we continue to use it. In what ways are you perceptive enough to understand a need? In what ways can you present an idea so that people will better understand it? But in what ways can you give and serve other people?